Think about the last time you opened your mortgage statement at the kitchen table. You see the balance. You see the interest line. You do the same mental math you've done 100 times. If I just throw an extra $300 a month at this, I'm done years earlier. And for a second, you can feel it. No payment, no lender, just you and your house. Then you remember everything else that wants your money. Groceries, kids, repairs, that creeping feeling that you're working hard but not getting ahead, so you make a deal with yourself. You'll be responsible. You'll pay the mortgage off early. Because everyone says that's what smart people do, and it sounds clean. Simple, guaranteed. But here's the weird part. That urge to wipe out the mortgage? It can be the exact thing slowing down your wealth. Not because paying debt is bad, but because of what you're quietly giving up every time you send extra principal. And nobody explains that trade-off when they tell you to just pay it off. That moment you just recognized, staring at the statement, itching to make an extra payment. Here's what was actually happening underneath it. You weren't just saving interest. You were choosing where your next dollar lives. Most people don't realize this. Extra mortgage payments are a form of investing. You're investing in a guaranteed return equal to your mortgage rate, because paying down principal reduces future interest. The twist is that this return can be lower than what your money could reasonably earn elsewhere over time. And when you lock cash into home equity, equity means the part of the home you truly own. You lose flexibility. Here's a hard anchor. The S&P 500's long-term compound annual growth rate since 1926 has been about 9.8% per year including dividends, roughly 6% after inflation, according to long-run return data compiled from historical market records. That doesn't mean you'll get 9.8% next year. It means over decades, ownership of productive companies has historically compounded faster than a 3% mortgage. Now look at what happened with mortgage rates recently. Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market survey shows 30-year fixed rates averaged around 3.11% in 2020 and about 2.96% in 2021. So if your mortgage is sitting around that range, racing to pay it off isn't automatically the smart move. It's just one move. And banks love that you treat it like the only move, because the real game is the trade-offs. Taxes, liquidity, risk, and what you'll do with the freed-up payment. And it goes deeper than that. So let's name the invisible cost you pay when you make that extra principal payment. It's called opportunity cost. That's just a fancy way of saying, when you choose one option, you permanently give up what the other option could have become. Like spending $5 on coffee isn't just $5. If that same $5 could have been lunch tomorrow. With your mortgage, every extra dollar you send is a dollar that can't sit in an investment account, can't build an emergency buffer, and can't be used for a higher impact move later. Here's what most people don't realize. The mortgage payoff return is capped. If your rate is 3%, your best case financial win is basically 3% per year saved. That's it. Now compare that with long-term investing. Since 1926, the S&P 500 has compounded at about 9.8% per year including dividends, roughly 6% after inflation. That's a totally different engine. Not guaranteed year to year, but powerful over time. Take someone like Marcus, 35. He has a 30-year mortgage at 3.1% and an extra $500 a month to deploy. If he prepays the mortgage, he's effectively locking in a 3.1% return by reducing interest. If he invests it in a diversified stock index fund and holds for decades, history suggests the long-run compounding has been closer to that approximately 9.8% nominal range. The implication for you is simple. If you're early or mid-career, time is your unfair advantage. Your money needs runway. Home equity is real, but it's trapped inside the walls. You can't buy groceries with it without refinancing or selling. So before you celebrate being ahead on the mortgage, ask a sharper question. Are you ahead on net worth? Or just ahead on one bill? Because the next layer is the one almost nobody calculates. Your interest rate changes the whole story. Once you understand opportunity cost, the interest rate on your mortgage becomes the control knob. Interest rate is just the price of borrowing money. Low price? The debt is cheap. High price? The debt is a heavy weight. And mortgages are weird because they're often the cheapest debt you'll ever get. The house is collateral, meaning the bank can take it if you don't pay, so they don't need to charge credit card level rates. Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market survey shows how extreme this got. 30-year fixed mortgages averaged around 3.11% in 2020 and about 2.96% in 2021. That's not just low, that's historically unusual. In a world like that, paying extra on the mortgage can be like rushing to pay off a 3% loan while other places are paying you close to that just to hold cash. For example, in 2024, many FDIC-insured high-yield savings accounts were offering roughly 4% to 4.5% APY, with some above 5%, according to rate trackers like NerdWallet. APY means annual percentage yield, your yearly interest including compounding. Read that again. If your mortgage is around 3% and your insured savings can earn around 4% plus, the math gets uncomfortable. You could keep money liquid. Liquid means you can access it fast, while earning a comparable or higher rate than you're saving by prepaying. Now, does that mean you should never pay extra? No. Let me be clear about something. The best plan isn't just highest return. It's the plan you can stick to without blowing up your life. But it does mean you shouldn't treat pay it off early as automatically virtuous. Your mortgage rate tells you whether you're killing a cheap tool or escaping an expensive trap. And here's the twist. Sometimes the best financial move isn't the one that looks best on a spreadsheet. It's the one that reduces risk right when risk matters most. You now see the trade, cheap debt versus compounding elsewhere. But the real answer depends on your timeline, your stress level, and one mistake that turns debt-free into cash poor. Because once your timeline shrinks, the math stops being the whole story. Paying off early makes sense when the mortgage is no longer cheap leverage and starts acting like a risk multiplier. That usually happens in three situations. You're close to retirement, your rate is meaningfully high, or the payment is mentally and monthly boxing you in. Here's the key concept. A paid-off house is a guaranteed reduction in required monthly cash flow. And in the years right before and after retirement, cash flow isn't just comfort. It's protection. Protection from being forced to sell investments at the wrong time. Concrete example. Sequence of returns risk is highest around the start of retirement. Bad market years early can do outsized damage because you're withdrawing while your portfolio is down. One way to shrink that risk is to shrink what you must withdraw. And data shows a lot of people aim directly at the mortgage for that reason. In EBRI's 2023 Retirement Confidence Survey, 27% of workers said they expect to pay off their mortgage before they retire. Now picture Denise, 62, planning to retire in 24 months. She has a $120,000 balance at 6.75%. Every extra dollar to principal is like earning 6.75% guaranteed, after tax, with zero volatility. And if paying it off eliminates a $1,100 payment, that's $1,100 less she needs to pull from her portfolio when markets are unpredictable. What does that mean for you today? If you're within the retirement red zone, or your rate is high, or you don't have a real emergency fund, the optimal spreadsheet move can be the wrong life move. Liquidity matters, sleep matters, and lowering fixed bills can be a financial superpower. So what do you actually do with all of this, without guessing, without vibes, and without accidentally becoming debt-free and cash poor? Here's exactly what to do. Simple, repeatable. You can do it this week. Step 1. Find your mortgage rate in your extra money number. Not what you wish you had. What's actually left after bills. Step 2. Build a real cash buffer first. Aim for 1 month of expenses, then 3. If one repair would send you to a credit card, you're not ready to lock more cash into the walls. Step 3. Run the 2 return test. Your guaranteed return equals your mortgage rate. Your alternative return equals what you can reasonably earn elsewhere. If your mortgage is approximately 3% and you can earn approximately 4% plus in insured savings, or you're investing for decades, prepaying isn't automatically best. Step 4. Apply the timeline filter. More than 10 years from retirement? Prioritize liquidity plus long-term investing, then consider small extra principal. Inside 5 years from retirement, or your rate is high, think 6% plus, or the payment is crushing your flexibility? Mortgage payoff moves up the list. Step 5. Decide your split and automate it. Example. 70% to investing, cash goals, 30% to extra principal. Or the reverse if you're in that risk reduction zone. The win is consistency. If this was useful, you'll want the next video on the most overlooked number in your mortgage, the amortization schedule, and how to use it to save years without wrecking your liquidity. Subscribe if you want more of the stuff the system never explains clearly.